Hello, everybody. Welcome to Irongeek Cast number 118, Master Chief reference. I have no idea which one of y'all put that in as a title.
That was me.
I think I put a little in the show notes anyway. If one of y'all wants to choose a title, I might as well let you.
Well, because last week was Irongeek Cast 117, and that's Master Chief's call sign in Halo. So I'm like, oh, this Master Chief reference.
Look at you. Woo.
I have not played Halo in like 2 years, though. Our compadre Jack probably is playing it right now, though.
Pretty much.
Probably. Instead of doing this.
How's everybody doing this Wednesday?
Great. Feeling great. I had a pretty productive day today. Had some fun. I actually got to watch some Gummy Bears too for lunch, so that was pretty good.
Old school, or do they have a new one?
Old school Gummy Bears.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
nice.
That was great.
I
ate a couple of these.
I'm doing well.
Did Disney do the cartoon for Gummy Bears?
Yeah, they had a cartoon for it like in the 80s.
I would vaguely recall being at Epcot Center and something, and in one of the gift shops they had some like Gummy Bears shit.
Yeah, Gummy Bears bouncing here. Oh, sorry, having a moment. Sorry.
Do you remember the? I think they were called either the Snorks or the Snorkels.
Yeah,
snorkels. Yeah, the Snorks.
Those underwater things.
Basically,
they're called the Snorks.
Underwater.
Yeah.
I like the Snorks too.
I used to have like two figurines. I think of those.
I remember the Snorks.
Yeah, I had the green one. He didn't talk much. He's like like that.
He's your exact opposite.
Yeah. That's how he talked. He was like that.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is
whoever's watching the live stream, no, I'm not crazy. This is just my normal voice.
I like how it just cut to Israel, and he's just like, no.
Yeah, I did up the numbers of people watching live, because currently we only have one watching live. My maximum I ever had was like 2 years ago or something. I had a woman in InfoSec panel, and I got a whole bunch of people watching because Miss Bats retweeted it.
How is Miss Bats?
Foss News doing okay, but she's very unhappy about some flight she's on. I just saw a tweet from her, some flight where she has 2 hours and she has to have her legs on her baggage. And
oh, that sucks. Get there safe, Miss Bats, if you're watching.
Sounds like she needs to have some shorter legs.
Legs on her baggage.
I've been to her house before and helped change light bulbs. So she's not exactly uber tall to begin with.
No, she's not.
I didn't think she was.
What kind of airline would even permit that?
Southwest.
Apparently, it's a jump seat. She said something, and something about there's some federal thing she's going to give a talk, and they booked a flight. I don't know the details beyond that.
I'm just a little perplexed as to what airline is even permitted, like legally, to
that's called
a
military transport.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
Nah, those C-130s are that's some fun. From what I've heard.
Oh wait, you don't just fly one of those, every other day?
Nah.
Oh, that sounds disappointing.
I am the farthest thing from military that there is.
So we heard today, yes.
Mr. Wait, what?
Mr. Anti-James Bond.
Oh, yeah. There's a story there, but I shouldn't say that story on air.
We'll get you a little PPK. You'll be okay.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll be fine. Actually, if you want to just give me that would be great.
I actually used to have something like a PPK. So Wolf was something or other, but I sold it because it was an unusual caliber in the United States. And I was like, I only want to keep
38
calibers. It wasn't even a 38. A P38 is a 38. That's what Megatron was.
Yeah. You sure it was a Walters, though? And not like one of the Czech or Polish guns?
I'm pretty sure it was a Walther, but
okay.
But it wasn't a PPK exactly. I'd have to look at it's one of the ones I sold because it was a weird caliber.
Yeah, because most of theirs are fairly standardized calibers.
Well, the ones you find in America commonly now, but the original PPK, and I'm not sure what this thing was. Well, they still make them because I'm pretty sure because of James Bond.
Oh yeah.
6 round 7, I guess if you include the chamber. And I'm looking for the damn 30. Oh, they make one now in 38 ACP. That's pretty common.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's not what the original James Bond one was.
Wasn't that Sean Connery's gun?
Yes, and I'm pretty sure they kept it through Roger Moore and always in Dalton. I think they changed it when Pierce Brosnan took over and they made it 99.
Yeah, they gave him that, and then
yours may have been a 25 ACP.
Yeah, that's probably what it was.
Okay, yeah, because 25 is just a little bit bigger than a 22. I used to have a Beretta that I had interchangeable barrels for. That was one barrel was a 22 and one was a 25.
Oh, apparently the new James Bond used it in the film Spectre. I don't remember the new guy's name. James Blonde, as some people refer to him as.
What is his name?
Daniel Craig.
Yeah, Daniel Craig.
Yeah, Daniel Craig. He's supposed to be the precursor to the Sean Connery Bond.
Yeah, like that chair scene still just makes me cringe.
Oh, yeah. From Casino Royale.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a fun one.
Yeah, that's
I watched that with my grandmother in the room. That was awkward.
7.65 millimeter, also known as 32 ACP, which I'm pretty sure is not that common.
Mm-mm.
I have a 32 Smith & Wesson around here someplace, a little snub-nosed revolver. Oh, and I know I told you I got a PT22 from Taurus.
Yes.
I think it's going to be a nice training gun. It does have a manual safety.
Be careful with the Taurus.
Well, I know sometimes quality control is an issue. But
have you shake tested it yet?
grab the bull by the horns.
Yeah, you shake it pretty well and it doesn't go off. The only thing I can really complain about it is it's always double action only, so it's a hell of a trigger pull for some people. And the rack and the slide is pretty hard, but luckily it has what's called a tilt barrel, to where you put the 8 shots in the magazine, then you put the extra 1 shot by tilting up the barrel, put the 22 in it, and close it.
Okay.
And
just like down the muzzle or down the
so the barrel actually like breaks apart from the main gun, right?
Okay. It's apparently the design Beretta used to use a lot.
Yeah.
I think I shot one of those Berettas, but
I'll have it out at Hackers on a Farm. I'm probably because of financial issues and because I'm also, as you all trying to plan a conference. I'm probably gonna hold off on getting the AR-10 anytime soon, unless I get a new job that pays 6 figures, and then I'll probably get an AR-10.
Or you get a crap. What's he getting? A buddy down in Texas, with a dealer's license, he can get it to you at cost.
Oh yeah, hopefully his what was the term for it? Everyone's saying
FFL.
FFL. Yes, that's what I was looking for.
That might be cool too. All right, well, now it's HackerCons I'm going to be at in the upcoming weeks. We got NolaCon in New Orleans. That's May 17th through the 19th. I'm going to be eating way too much down there. Circle Con is in Indianapolis. That's May 31st through June 2nd. I'm going to be at B-Sides SATX, which is San Antonio, Texas. I'm not exactly doing complete video there. I'm going to be helping out with the video. They're supposed to have most of this stuff. Steven, a guy who's been my lieutenant at a lot of conferences doing video. You'll notice him. I'm usually wearing the black Scott E vest. He's usually wearing like a tan Scott E vest. See, Show Me Con is June 13th and 14th. That's in St. Louis. B-Sides Cleveland, of course, is in Cleveland. That's June 22nd. I'll be crashing with the Brockways. DerbyCon is September 6th for the 8th, and I heard we sold out in 2 seconds. Well, that is tickets became unavailable in 2 seconds. If someone didn't pay within a certain amount of time, the tickets went back into circulation. But I'm pretty sure we sold out in minutes, regardless.
Yep.
And also I have B-Side St. Louis on September 21st, and I'll leave the rest off because the rest don't begin until like October.
Whoop, whoop. I picked up my DerbyCon ticket, so I'm one of the few that got their tickets.
In 2 seconds.
In 2 seconds, yeah. I was part of that. My bad.
That was nuts. I mean, because I was watching and everything. This year didn't have to get tickets, but I was definitely
you didn't get
watching.
One last year.
Yeah, I had to get one last year.
No, you didn't.
Well, I didn't have to, but I already had it before I was employed. So
I thought you just didn't have one. I don't know.
Oh no, I did have one.
Okay.
And then actually, I won't go further. But yes, I did have one.
Yeah, someone was trying to like, well, what's the damn scalp tickets on online, but Dave thinks it was just a troll who didn't actually have tickets.
That's kind of funny.
Could have been. Yeah, because they were wanting like what 650 or something like that, right?
400 per.
Yeah, and what were the tickets? 175.
175. Yeah.
Off cast, I'm gonna ask y'all some questions about my own conference I'm planning, and if y'all want to volunteer for it. I've already got a few people online to volunteer for it. Like Ricky's going to be heading up security, and I figured Charles said he'd be okay with doing video, so I'll check with the rest of y'all on similar issues. If you rather be like video, security, registration, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'll probably ask Mary if she doesn't want to do video, maybe be one of the female security, because we need a few female security just in case. Like I said, I don't plan to be a get drunk at PartyCon, but occasionally someone gets a little too drunk and you need someone to be able to go into the women's restroom and ask if they're okay.
That is a question I had. Is the hotel considered private or public property if there is a private event?
I mean, parts of it are going to be public regardless. Like the bar area, it's not that we get the bar area to ourselves. The individual rooms where we'd have conference space, I believe those would be considered private. We can kick out anybody who's being a shithead. But
yeah, just because I was thinking down like the protesters type of line. You know, having male and female, if something like that were to occur, would be beneficial.
Yeah, I need to find a few more women, and I plan on having Mary do video since she's experienced with it. So I'm not sure who all. Maybe we get Comrade Evie to come and bust heads. Hey, I'm just like violence. She can, no, I'm not. It's not that kind of con. But
I don't see any airplane in sight.
Oh.
I mean helicopter.
Oh shit.
What color? Black or purple?
Yeah, I like to tell her, but keep telling her a chinchilla actually looks more like that an Evie looks more like a chinchilla than a fox.
It's that's not her fault.
That is true.
But actually, Israel, your wife is in tech at least. I don't remember if she's in InfoSec directly, is she?
No, she's actually in HR.
HR, okay.
Yeah.
Would you be interested in being female security?
I'll
talk to you later. I'll talk to you offline.
Yeah. Well, we'd have to talk through that one, think about that one a bit. You know, given her massive stature and all.
Yeah. Well, I'm not expecting her, and I'm not expecting her to actually have to rough anybody up. I'm expecting her to have to check on people and make sure everything's okay, and maybe de-escalate some things.
Yeah, actually, that from that perspective, she could be good at that. HR, that is conflict resolution, all that fun stuff. So yes, from that perspective, well, who knows? We'll see.
Yeah.
What not exact dates, but like, are you planning it for this year or next or
next year, 2020? I'm not.
Oh, okay.
And I'm planning for September roughly, but I got to get with the person who's in charge of the venue I'm looking at, and I'm pretty sure we should be able to cover it financially. I'll talk about that more off air with you guys because y'all are my planning team, so to speak.
And we wouldn't be hitting like Hacker Summer Camp or nothing like that, right?
I'd be after Hacker Summer Camp. I'm in for September again. The only people I'm really worried about conflicting with is GurCon, so I have a message in with the folks at GurCon to make sure I'm not at the same time as they are.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not going to be at West Virginia Secure Con, whatever it's called, are you?
I will be this year, yes.
Oh, you will? Did everybody get the email from them?
I don't know if I did. What
So the beginning of their email said, "Get skunked on your DerbyCon tickets?" ? Tickets are on sale for Secure WB HackerCon X.
Hey man, if you got, why not? They've actually been going on for a year longer than DerbyCon, so.
Yeah, that was awesome. I was like, oh, see, somebody has a little bit of the marketing gene in them because that was quality right there.
And it's nice, smaller con, so I enjoy it, and it's only like a few hours away from. I think it's a 4-hour drive for me.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Cool.
And for me to get to DerbyCon will be like a 5-hour drive, so I don't know.
Still trying to work. Yeah.
You drove down though from Minnesota last year, didn't you?
Nope. I flew.
Oh, you flew in. Yeah.
That would have been a 12-hour drive.
Yeah, that's why I was gonna make the comparison. This one shouldn't be bad at all, but yeah, you flew.
For me to drive back to Minnesota, where I'm at right now, it's about 5 hours.
Oh, okay.
5 or 6 ish.
Holy shit! The batteries fell out of my vaporizer. I need to figure out where the hell they.
Watch out, the cat will get them.
By the way, Smokes. I like Smokes' product. I broke the USB port in this, and they've been really slow to respond. They respond once, and then I ask for clarification. And then I ask for clarification again, and they're really fucking slow to respond. I'm hoping I can just take it by this. I found out there's a warranty center in Clarksville, which is a city next door to me.
Yeah.
So hopefully I can take it by there.
Like, what kind of warranty do they have?
Apparently, it's either a 6 month or it's a year. If it's 6 months, I'm still good, but I gotta take care of it this month.
Yeah, I'm well past that.
Did you break? What did you break on yours?
Thankfully, nothing yet. But I mean, I've had mine like 3 years.
Well, after that amount of time, you got to expect,
And I'm usually pretty good. Because yours still has like not the USB-C, but the USB Mini or whatever.
Micro USB.
Micro USB. Is that what yours has?
The newest ones probably still have micro on them.
I wish they just convert over to USB-C and be done with it. So you put
C
it in upside down or right side up. Huh?
The C connector itself is better for in output connecting and disconnecting, but I keep breaking USB-C cables.
Oh, really? How do you do that? I mean, you'd still break a micro USB cable, right?
I figured they use thicker conductors because a USB 2 micro it only has 4 conductors, but it's a shitload more conductors in C. I don't remember how many. I think they use thinner cables, making it easier to break.
Huh. Interesting. But too, I mean, most of the time, I don't even charge this. I just have my external charger for the batteries and go down that road. And
I'm not anticipating really having to update the firmware on this thing, but yeah, my Spoke 220 RHA, I've busted up. Also, my problem with leaky tanks, and one of my ones I've replaced the coil in it. Now it's saying the ohmage is too low, but I got it filled with liquid, so I can't easily take it apart without making a mess and wasting liquid. So I got to figure out how to empty that thing out with a dropper or something, and then try to reassemble it and hope the coil works.
Yes. Now, do you have like a top fill tank, or is yours? Man, I don't even remember what they were.
Oh.
So, wait. Okay, boom.
Top fill tank. That answers your question. I don't know what the other type is called, but it's a top fill tank.
Oh, okay.
It's not a bottom filler or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my favorite thing probably with this and just some of the newer tanks. Well, in the last like 3 years, since I bought this. But I love top fill compared to that old crap, getting that vape juice on you and all that junk. That was...
I am kind of worried about from the standpoint of if you're driving to one, I've actually tested this out. I have bought some breathalyzers to test how breathalyzers work.
Yeah.
If I have a whole bunch of like spit back, if you get a tank that has a little bit of a leak up the top side, you'll get a little bit of the juice in your mouth.
Yeah.
I find it blowing into a breathalyzer while I have a bunch of that fluid in my mouth.
Yeah.
Causes the breathalyzer to be positive for alcohol.
Yeah, but at like what rate or what percentage?
Oh shit! I did this on Cast a while back, but let me see if it does anything right now.
Was it enough that it just you get a trace amount?
It's usually not over the legal limit. Let's put it that way.
Oh, okay.
Unless I inhale a bunch of vapor and then blow straight into it.
Yeah.
At that point, then it sometimes puts me over the legal limit to where it is. Wait a second.
Wouldn't that be the propylene glycol in it then, tripping it? Isn't that like an offshoot of alcohol?
I think so.
That would make sense to me.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm not a chemist. Blue light.
Yeah, right now it's reading 0.000.
Yeah.
But if I do something like and guys, this thing's leaking again. Sometimes this tank leaks and sometimes it doesn't. It's just fucking frustrating to get one that doesn't leak. I think it's maybe some of my cheap coils I find online that I need to find ones that don't leak. The one I had that really don't leak is actually from Smoke itself. These ones are Mesh Pros. They leak pretty bad, but the ones that from Smoke don't leak. But now when I just replaced the coil in, it has a bunch of juice in it, but it's reading ohms too low. So
I only use the Smoke coils, and honestly, I use them for freaking ever. Like, I'll use one of the Smoke coils for like 6+ months.
Yeah, I tried doing the whole cleaning them up with isopropyl alcohol, but it doesn't taste right afterwards, even if I rinse it.
Dude.
Casting. That got me a 0.04.
Okay. Wow.
Well,
Wow.
that's not above the legal limit, but still, my understanding, depending on what state you're in, by discretion, it's 0.02. So the bottom thing is, especially if your tank is spitting, you may not want to be vaping while driving. And if you do, you probably want to rinse your mouth out with some water real quick.
Or
Yeah.
vaping while you're like doing a breathalyzer.
Yeah, true. Yeah, because I only got 0 before, but I have had ones where I haven't had a vape for like a few minutes and still be able to blow something out of it. That is usually when I was having some pretty bad spit back from the tank.
Wow.
And now you know, and knowing is half the battle.
That's right. Now you know. Dark Owl said, I just smoke cigarettes. They're better for you.
Analog, bro. Analog. Thank you, Meat Shield, for that analogy.
All right, I guess we should probably go into
Show notes.
And what do we got up here first?
Yeah, first up here, we have a couple ransomware items.
And I'll share my screen. So, Adrian, if you want to click on my icon, I've got the articles all queued up.
There you go. So
find the right screen. Okay.
So we have CityComp, and I looked it up. CityComp, let me see, does internet infrastructure for companies including Oracle, Airbus, Toshiba, and Volkswagen. But CityComp was hit by ransomware, refused to pay. They fell to a targeted attack, and perpetrator has stolen some customer data and threatened the company with publication. And I think they did end up posting that stolen data online. I don't believe it's in this article, but I think they did end up posting it. So
it's also important to note at the very end here, many of CityComp's clients are located within the European Union, which means the company should brace for GDPR impact.
Yeah, they're going to get nailed.
They're going to get nailed.
And what was GDPR at the max? Like 10% or 20%, something like that, of yearly revenue?
Yeah, something like along those lines.
It's a high potential dollar amount. If you are a large scale company, it can be severely impacting.
Yep, still unknown. So they don't know who the guy is, but they know that they posted it.
Yes. Yeah.
Do we know?
See somewhere else that they did post it online.
Do we know who might be investigating this yet?
Oh, not that I've seen.
It sounds like a FireEye thing, but whatever. Most likely will be
chance. Yeah. Okay. Next up,
got Baltimore City Hall computer network infected with ransomware virus, officials say.
Yeah, and I think they were actually popped here like within the last year to year and a half too. And from what I was seeing, this is probably like the second time they've now gotten hit with ransomware. But yeah, they got hit with ransomware. It's still pretty new. Reports just came out yesterday, so they haven't said, type of ransomware or anything. They're still in the recovery stage, but City Baltimore, so police, fire, EMS, and 311 are still operational, but that may be about it.
Well, that's kind of like the main thing that you want up. So it must hit the utilities net VLAN.
Yeah, probably. Well, yeah, utilities, judicial, all of the, similar to like Atlanta. When Atlanta got hit, well, they got hit with what? Sam, I think.
Yep.
And yeah, all their emergency services were still up, which is good because it's starting to show that a lot of the cities are starting to take this more seriously, and either one, they're within the same network but segregated, or they're actually fully separating, the networks out, like completely separating the networks out for some of these, citizen-facing services.
Right.
Except for, judgments. If you're in jail, oh, man, we got hit with ransom. Sorry, you're going to have to stay in jail 30 more days. A judge isn't available because we can't see your case.
It's also important to note that we're getting the utilities thing because of a tweet that Baltimore Department of Water put out. I believe that's what DPW stands for, or Department of Power and Water.
Yeah.
Due to current network issues throughout the city, the director
issues.
Director of Public Works.
Oh,
So
Public
your,
Works. Okay.
your utilities
Same thing.
has suspended late water bill fees for city and county customers because today would be one of the days maybe that you would have to pay your water bill. And it looks like Israel is just stepping away for a second. Everything else is there. In 2016, hackers took over MedStar's health database. So that sounds like another thing that would be like their government provided medical stuff, medical facing application. So within 3 years, been popped twice. So they're obviously a target for someone.
Yeah. Oh, that did confirm the 3 years?
So
okay, good.
So in 2016, hackers took over MedStar Health's database, which I'm assuming is some local health or local in-state run healthcare system that they might have.
Yeah.
Similar to like the only thing I can think of is Minnesota has something called MNsure, which is their state-funded healthcare system or
That's
health
munchies.
insurance.
It's the munchies in Minnesota. There's nothing else to do there.
Sure.
Hey, does Taco Bell do pretty well in Minnesota?
Oh yeah.
And White Castle?
Not so much White Castle
Oh.
because, yeah, I believe we have them. Like the last White Castle building that I saw was actually turned into an antique shop.
The last White Castle building?
No, the last one that I saw.
Oh, okay. Was it filled with sliders from the 30s and 40s?
No, it was
Are
an
still
antique.
edible?
No, it was an antique shop. It was
No,
down in...
those would be antiques.
No. No 30-year-old sliders. God, those things come out freaking aged.
Oh, but they go in beautifully.
And come out. Ugh. Never mind. Enough about White Castle. But yeah, I'm sure White Castle is okay. I see like one or two up there when I go back up there to visit people.
Hey, you know what? The let's see, probably like the second or third restaurant that I took Jada to once she got to the U.S. was we went through a White Castle drive-through on our way to Indiana, and she loved it. I'm like, yep, definitely the right choice for me.
Nope, I hate sliders.
Oh, you are a commie.
Well, I look like one.
Yes. At certain points in history, yes. Okay.
Got a beard and awesome mustache, long hair. Yeah, I look like a commie.
No. A mustache is part... Can you have a beard without a mustache? Because
Yes.
I'm of the opinion you can't.
Yes,
At that point, it's just an extended
I'm pretty
smiley
sure the
face on
Amish-
your chin.
I'm pretty sure the Amish will disagree with you.
No, they just have big smiley faces on their chins. I mean, come on.
Yikes. All right.
An appropriate beard includes a mustache. Anybody who's watching who disagrees with that, my name is Caprico. But
I'm not even, whatever.
next up, Beyonce. My gosh, I can't believe how many crypto exchanges there are out there. But now they're assumingly not just now, because they're fairly large, since they lost $40 million worth of coin.
You mean Binance?
Oh, Binance.
Why were you saying? I'm like, wait.
How do you pronounce it? It looks
Binance.
like Beyonce.
No, it's Binance.
Binance?
Yeah, so
BIANCE?
Yeah, so Bit Finance.
Oh, Binance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Binance. I'm like,
Now
Beyonce,
that makes
what the-
sense. I was like, is this pronounced Beyonce? Like
No.
BIANCE? That's what it looks like.
Yeah, you're switching the A and the N here. There's been Binance.
Well,
Binance.
wait, let me validate the spelling of it first.
Binance.
Oh, I did miss an N.
Not beyond. Yeah, you're forgetting this N.
Man,
Right there.
I love live spelling errors and then mispronunciations due to live spelling errors.
Oh man.
Binance. Now, yes, since I've spelled it correctly, it's accurate on the show notes. But Binance Exchange loses 40 million
In cryptocurrency.
Yeah, hackers stole not only 7,000 Bitcoin. I mean, we would all be happy to have, 15, 20 Bitcoin, but they stole 7,000 Bitcoin, equivalent to over 40 million, but also some user two-factor authentication codes and API tokens.
Wah wah.
I mean, that is a pwned environment.
That is not only you lost your block on the blockchain, which means now you own the rest of the blockchain.
Yeah.
But they also now own possible other accounts that your users are accessing. So my guess is that there's some sort of OAuth, which is like when you log into Google at somewhere, it'll make an API key and then it will call out to Google. And if you have two-factor set up, then you'll do a two-factor authentication, which is another API key of sorts. So
it's another hash. It's a hash on a hash.
It's a hash on a hash within a hash, which just means that the hackers that stole this also stole your freaking identity.
Yes.
Online digital footprint, digital identity, I should say.
Yeah, definitely within this interface. It did not say what they have done. Okay, let me see real quick. Hacker variety type. Yeah, we know what the hackers did. They popped you. Here's hackers. So they will conduct a security review of all its systems and data, which will take about a week. Binance will, though, continue to allow trading during that time frame. If you work with Binance, don't do that. Do not, get your shit out. That is the only thing I would do at this point. Because the hackers have API-based access. That's game over right there.
Yikes.
Until they go through and reset everything. And the two-factor. I mean, that's...
Yeah. To hit on the API stuff or the two-factor stuff, it's unclear whether the compromise of two-factor codes and API keys will have broader implications. Most of all, it's the latest reminder for all promise of cryptocurrency. It remains a wild west for investors. Yeah, so API key, those change often enough, but if you can... Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but
Well,
I'm surprised though they're not saying we have gone through and we've scrubbed and reissued all keys, and gone
because
done something. Yeah, it's going to be a major headache.
It might be an OAuth key, so that might be something that's a key that they're using from a third party, like a Google, a Facebook, or a Twitter, or something like that.
Could be, but how long is that going to take? That's not. That should not take. If they do their review and find it has been validate it has been compromised and then go into the process even after that, screw it.
Right.
Redo your keys now. Conduct your security. If it wasn't an issue, oh well, you scrub the keys. You have new ones. Everybody's good to go. If it is, you're screwing everybody for the next week, at least.
Yeah, but like I said again, it might be a third party's API keys that are being generated and then stored. So they might just need to reissue. It could be as simple as just reissuing everyone to log in again and reissue that OAuth key or two-factor key. But,
so from what Jack said, it sounds like they have hookers and blow. Because he said you're not going to cover how John McAfee and Kaspersky are teaming up to help them.
Are you serious?
I don't know. I honestly did not read that part of it.
Let's see here. Hang on. We have the power of a keyboard. Mac. Nope. All right, whatever. I think Jack's trolling.
I think he is too.
That would have been funny. All right. So cryptocurrency, blah, for
Yeah, that was.
blockchain, blah, whatever.
I mean, how many exchanges have we covered in even the last 4 or 5 months? Probably 10.
12.
Yeah,
At
12
least a
somewhere in
dozen.
there.
At least a dozen of them have been hit.
I mean, it is just constant. Oh, and Dark Owl. Jack, you are not trolling? Okay. Maybe we'll come back to that towards the end. But Dark Owl, how could this have gone so wrong? Oh, that is called venture capital. Whenever things are rushed into production, there's an idea, things are rushed, and
Well, that's
you
development in
sidestep.
general.
Yeah, and you sidestep proper security coding and development.
Right. When you're in a rush to get something out so that your investors are happy, you're going to cut corners and your code is going to be sloppy and all of that fun stuff.
And not all the time, but that's
right.
how the basic process works.
It leaves it open for it. And that just happens in regular development too. I'm not saying that's something that is just only going to be happening when
on the VC side.
When you're in a situation where your company has a venture capitalist that's trying to make a quick turn and burn and get your stock price, your share stock price higher from when they initially invested and everything. But yeah, that stuff is just going to happen. And since there's a huge push for cryptocurrency, that's kind of been an inherent trait as everyone's trying to spin up their own blockchain, their own cryptocurrency, that they're making all these small mistakes that turn out to be these big consequences.
Exactly. Give me
All right.
1 second.
No. Anything else from chat, or is that what you're reading right now?
No, sorry, I have a side thing for another 10 seconds.
Okay, cool. I'm going to introduce the next title while you're reading that. So, online tutoring program reveals customer data breach. An online tutoring program has revealed that it suffered a data breach in which an unauthorized individual might have compromised customers' information. Wow, this is very descriptive. Wyzant is issued a statement out to its customers informing them about the data breach. According to this letter, the online tutoring program detected a security incident on the 2nd of May when it observed something went wrong in one of its databases. And they have now launched an investigation, and the start of it occurred back in April on the 27th. It's unclear how many of Wyzant's 2 million customers were victims of this data breach, or whether the security incident compromised the information of both students and tutors, of which there are currently 76,000. So they have 76,000 active, 2 million in records that are inactive or whatever. Cool. Let's see here. Even so, the online might have exposed customer names, email addresses, zip codes, their Facebook profile images. If they use Facebook to authenticate themselves. Hey, wasn't I just talking about OAuth today and how bad that kind of can be if it gets popped?
Well, I mean, but let's not only say OAuth, it's any of the multi-factor. Like, they all use the same type of way of doing it. OAuth is open standard, though, which is nice. So Duo, Google Authenticator, a lot of stuff like that use it. What's the little key fob I have?
RSA or
no, hell no. RSA is on the same line of thought, but I have a Nano, a YubiKey. That uses that same type of thing.
It also revealed that customer passwords, payment information, and records of activity on the platform were safe. So they didn't get passwords. or payment information. Just, things to phish you to get the rest of that. Yep.
Always fun. Gotta love a little fishing expedition once in a while.
Yeah, well,
I know I do.
additional security measures have been implemented to prevent the recurrence of such an attack and to protect privacy of our valued customers. This includes reviewing our security processes and protocols. We are also working closely with law enforcement to ensure the incident is properly addressed. Cool. Standard statement.
There you go.
Beware. Wait, hang on. In the meantime, the online tutoring program warned affected customers to beware of phishing attacks, like we're talking about now, where digital attackers could abuse exposed information to ask for even more personal data. It's like I already said that. So, be aware, beware, beware. Beware the fish. So,
Fishy, fishy.
fishy, fishy. Cool.
That's right.
All right, what's next?
Next up, we have Freedom Mobile data leak. This one is fun. Who wrote? Oh, Zach Whitaker. Okay, his articles are usually pretty good. I like most of them. So, data seen by TechCrunch reveals customer names, email addresses, phone numbers, postal addresses, dates of birth. Oh, did I say? Yeah, Freedom Mobile. So they are I think it said the fourth largest mobile carrier in Canada. So the
5 million.
Yeah, so the maple syrup, runs thick here.
5 million logs containing customer data. 5 million logs. What's in a log?
So, yeah, let's go through that a bit. So, yeah, name, email address, phone number, postal address, date of birth, customer type, which I'm not quite sure what that is, maybe like their plan, as well as their cell phone numbers, or no, Freedom Mobile account numbers. And then the logs also contain answers to credit checks filed through Equifax, including details. Yeah, if an application was accepted or rejected, along with the reason why. We, TechCrunch, also found full credit card numbers, expiration dates, and verification numbers stored in plain text. Well, and
that was encrypted.
None of the data was encrypted.
Oh my gosh, that's nuts.
Oh, but
not
good news. Good news, though. A forensics investigation is underway.
Forensics investigation. You said that you left an authentic. You left a Elasticsearch with unauthenticated access. Anyone can log into this. I know exactly what someone did. They went to Shonen, put in Elasticsearch, and found the nearest thing that he could access without having to put in a password.
And
here's something funny.
I wish I could know. It was probably the same freaking dude from like 2 months ago who was just popping Elasticsearch databases left and right that were fully exposed.
Here's the thing too, Elasticsearch, the last time I looked at this, and this was about 6 months ago, because I was talking about it and how to use it for a couple of different things, and I was like, hey, I wonder how many people are actually running this. So I go to Shonen real quick, and I'm like, hey, does authentication come like pre-packaged and pre-installed on it? And no, it doesn't. Elasticsearch, there's a module that you have to enable inside of the program to actually run authentication.
Yes, that is accurate. Because we talked about that a couple months ago. Yeah.
So when you put it out there,
why
do I have to say it again?
Yeah, by default, it's wide open. Like, you should be firewalling this shit off before you face it towards the internet. Get everything done, and it should never be exposed to the internet until you have it fully ready for prime time.
And there's even a couple in older versions of I know exactly what it is, where those logs are. So caveat, another like offshoot with Elasticsearch, you can in older versions of their front end, so their like web interface, I think it's ES50.log or something like that. If you put that into the web front end, you'll get the log file. And there's also a way to do remote code execution or to append your PHP code into that file. And then if you call that file again, your PHP code will run and you will get a reverse shell.
Yes. Yeah, PHP reverse shells are fun.
Yup.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a vector that a lot of things cannot detect and cannot see because you're living more so in the application space where like EDRs are looking system side and they're looking for PowerShell or this or that for the reverse shell, and a lot of time PHP will just bypass quite a few of the current ones.
Right, and that's also something to note as well, that's in an older version of Elasticsearch's front end. So if you're constantly updating and keeping up to date with stuff, which you should be, it should be fixed right now because I think they're on ES6 or something like that, 6 or 7. I don't know, but Elasticsearch, which is an Amazon product, if I remember correctly.
I don't know. Is it really?
Yeah, it is.
Did they originally develop it?
Nope, it's developed by Elastic NV.
Okay, yeah. So they bought them out.
Yeah,
because that sounds more right.
Let me look, because I don't want to be wrong about this. Yeah, so it's in their Kibana front end is the thing that I'm talking about. So you have Elastic, Kibana. Yeah. But there is an AWS. A lot of people will just throw up an AWS instance of this. Amazon has a prepackaged one for that has a bunch of defaults on it. So
yeah, and I honestly haven't messed with it. Like I've had to screw around with EC2 some, but and it's a Debian based build, but still it's not standard Debian. They do some funkiness in there.
Oh yeah, there's a Kali image up there too now, which I'm like, what? that happened. I think, I don't know. Do they still let you have like custom images that you can upload to their EC2s?
To whose?
Amazon's.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
Because I remember one guy put out a Kali image to the public.
I mean, I know a lot of people who've run Kali from EC2, so I don't see why not.
Yeah.
Yeah, and whenever I said EC2, I actually meant Amazon Linux version 2. That's the one that is the Linux build based off Debian, but it's not.
Debian?
No, like half the, like I can't just go and install like a .deb, like the vast majority of stuff. So yeah, I have to go in and rework everything if I want to effectively utilize it.
Right. All right.
Okay, let's be done with the breach and move on to Cappy.
All right, vulnerability of the week. So CSRF to Dell Security to code. Hold up, I need CalcExe for this.
Oh, good. Yeah, I'm glad you're doing this one. Yeah, this is a major issue.
Well,
I mean, remote codecs on how many, like what percentage of Dell systems?
Any that are using Dell Security Support Tool. So any Dell machine that has Dell Security support. Now
that probably ship, like if you personally buy,
I think it's shipping system, with new stuff right now. It
ships with that.
Yeah.
Enterprise wise, it's hopefully not there all that much. I'm sure in smaller organizations it probably exists, but yeah, this is definitely a huge vector right now for home-based users and SMBs.
I'm looking at the launch. The first thing that you see is how to stop and start services.
Wait, you can stop a service?
Yeah.
What?
So they're going through and saying like, hey, this is how you do security management. So there's actually security management servers. So there are some. I'm going to say there's some enterprise stuff there. So it could be a pretty big deal. It could be a big deal. So to continue on, Dell Security support tool hardware's high severity flaws. This was something that I saw last week or Monday or so. What day did this come out? This came out Monday last week, I think. No, Thursday last week. Thursday, right after the podcast that we had last week, because I was like, I probably should look up some stuff. So 2 high severity flaws in Dell's client support tool Support Assistant client, which is the Support Assistant, which that comes on your desktops and your laptops that you get from Dell. I don't know how long those have been being pushed out. I'm going to assume in the last 3-4 years or so that's been there.
Yeah, it's been a while because I think even before my previous job, that started in 2014.
Okay,
even before then,
years.
I had Dell at the old place, and it was still on their like base builds that they sent before I wiped the crap out of them.
Right. Yeah. So this is something that comes on your machine when you get it straight out of the box. It's the same thing as like HP's like Support Assistant. Lenovo's got one.
Yeah, they're dummy tools.
Asus has one. Acer has one. Basically, any of the major manufacturers has one of these for like driver updates and stuff like that for driver specific or for hardware specific drivers that are only for that laptop. Like Republic of Gamers PCs will have them, and that's an Asus product. So Dell Support Assistant client has been updated to address multiple vulnerabilities in which may be potentially exploited to compromise the system, according to Dell's security advisory. Both flaws impact Dell supported clients versions prior to 3.2.0.90. This remote code execution flaw, which it's a lot easier for me to show it run, and then I can explain it a little further here. And I've also linked in the show notes to the researcher who discovered the flaw, who is 17 years old, Bill Demercopy. Sorry, dude, I am screwing up your last name.
Wait, was that Bill the Democrat?
No. Anyway, so we're going to throw this up here, and hopefully this works. All right. So attacker is launching proof of concept. He's got this Python script that's going. And I'll explain everything what happens here. So victim visits the malicious website and then gets that DNS request back.
Probably visit the website due to a phish.
Yep, the malicious program is launched.
Due to everybody who was compromised in the last week.
Right. Oh, God. I don't know what I clicked. Lol.
Cappy, put down the beer.
My recommendation. No, I haven't
put down the bourbon.
I haven't drank any tonight. I'm going to drink some later, but not on the cast. All right. So what the heck just happened? Well, there's 2 things that you can do. One, you can go and read his whole article here. It's very detailed, very well done, and it actually goes into how the web servers actually operate, because the reason he came about this is he was actually looking to buy a new laptop. He was looking at a Dell, and then he looked at it and saw this, and he's like, this is weird. So then he bought the Dell, and he's like, all right, let's see if I can hack my own machine with this. So he goes through all the different requests that the server makes and all the different things that he's doing in his code. I've also linked in there his GitHub page where you can actually get this proof of concept. And if you have a Dell yourself, you can try this there. Or if you're a pen tester and you see, hey, there's a bunch of Dell stuff here, maybe I can like do this and phish the employees that way, all that fun stuff. Now, I did take the liberty of going ahead and creating a small chart for this so that you can see what is actually going on here. So The attacker is actually positioning him. So the guy positioned himself as the attacker here. Now, in normal circumstances, this all runs through to Dell support server, to Dell's DNS, to the gateway, and it just makes all these requests back out. What the code is doing here and what the proof of concept is the attacker here is making himself a man in the middle. He is telling everyone on the system, hey, I'm the gateway, and I'm also Dell.supportassistant.com or something like that. And then he has a malicious web server running that then has the code there to basically make a API call down to your Dell laptop or Dell PC that is running the support assistant and auto install and auto run the .exe or any command that you have given it.
That's pretty.
Which is nuts.
Yeah, which is whatever you programmed in. I mean, you can have a reverse shell, throwback, execute, whatever you want. You could dump password stores. I mean, all kinds of fun stuff from a whole user perspective.
So you can download, and you can do way more with this stuff. Like if he wanted to expand upon this, like he just got this to do code execution. If you want to expand on this, you could download just everything. Like you could re-image their entire system. You could just even see if hosts are alive through this. You can restart the system, get drivers, scan results. But the main one that he found was download service, download, and auto install.
That's so funny.
Which I'm like, who thought that was a good idea, guys? Who thought that was a good idea?
I mean, because, just throw your reverse shell into an executable, and boom, and now you have full access. So
right,
yeah,
$5. There's a ransomware that comes out with this.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Because were you able to find out, like, Dell side does? So yes, they have patched it, but do they automatically update that portion, like on end user Dells, or do they have to select to update, or do you know how that update process actually works?
Yeah, so here's the timeline that the timeline kind of gives that. So Bill did the initial write-up, got the initial response, yada yada yada. They put out a tentative fix. They scheduled a tentative fix in Q1. So back in last month, there was that, and then so the vulnerability is disclosed here. Hang on, no thanks. Updated vulnerabilities.
Dell, stop trying to hack me.
Lol, they changed the CVS scores because the article says 8 and this is 7.6.
They may have just rounded.
They may have just rounded it up. Improper origin vulnerability and remote code execution.
Oh, so they are saying
Dell
recommends
all
customers
upgrade to this version.
Oh, that is such
so
crap. It doesn't even automatically upgrade, which means this is fully viable. There's been like 2 systems that have actually been patched globally, and those were only in testing, and everything else is still out there for the choosing.
Yeah, so there's actually 2 vulnerabilities here. The one that I found was Bill's exploit, and there's another one here from John C. Hennessy Ricard for reporting CVE 2019 3718, which is that improper origin thing. So they have been, they've been severely hurt with that. So look for our new Nessus module, new Metasploit module. I mean, hey, if you're a shop, like if you're a corporate shop and you just bought Oh my gosh. You bought 3 years ago about 20 Dell Latitudes. Or how many Latitudes? You bought a fleet of Dell Latitudes.
Or Precision, even a small shop, but an engineering shop. They buy
Right.
Dell Precisions, and they have 20 engineers, 1 or 2 IT guys, some management, but they could be a multi-million-dollar company.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
But just 1 or 2 support guys, due to the vast majority of it being engineering work or law firms, they make a lot of money, but they'll still oftentimes just buy off-the-shelf types of things. I mean, a lot of SMBs.
All right, so I just got a push notification on this. Come back here. Where'd you go?
I like to pull, not push.
So I just saw on my phone, Ars Technica got hit with Robinhood. So just breaking news: Ars Technica got hit with ransomware for Robinhood. So yeah, if you want to find that, I don't know. I just saw that on my phone. I got buzzed.
Did it
People
just
giving me email like news alerts on hacking stuff, which is a little concerning.
can you throw that over in side chat? Just a link.
Yeah, let me find it. Robinhood, Ars Technica. There's a Robinhood game. Ransomware.
Yeah, that's fun. Breaking news.
Nope, it's the same. Wait, what?
Because I'm not finding it yet, so that's why I'm.
Yeah, I know. What city did we? It's from Ars Technica. That might have been it. Robinhood ransomware takes down Baltimore city government network. So it's Robinhood.
So they have identified it now. That's cool, at least.
So here we go. So this was today at about 11 o'clock. I just got a notification of it. Robinhood ransomware takes down Baltimore city government networks, and this is the same one. And this one I'll give this to you in side chat here so that you can throw that into the show notes. Over a year ago, Baltimore's 911 systems were attacked by ransomware. So that was the other thing. So within the last 3 years, they've been popped 3 times. Yikes! All right, and that's why they're working with authorities, and because Robinhood is taking out a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Plus, I did read at one point, our Robinhood, at least who they think is behind it, donated money to fight ISIS. Like at some point, I mean, like the whole Robinhood type of mindset.
We were waiting for that.
So, but yeah, it's as
we were waiting for that because that doesn't
definitely interesting.
That's weird. You're taking money away from government to then give back to the government.
Hey, reallocation.
I did the exact same.
Redistribution. There we go.
No, okay, whatever. All right, whatever. So that thing aside, go check out his code if you want to take a look at it. There's actually some pretty cool concepts that you can do. So if you're just getting into writing your own exploits for things, this is actually a really cool resource for it. I especially liked his ARP spoofer class that he made here. That is very nice. It actually does all. It not only does it do the ARP poisoning, but it resets the entire thing. So
That's cool.
That's why I was saying last night or a couple nights ago when I was talking to you guys about this, I'm like, this guy's code is solid. And it's all in object-oriented format, which I'm okay with, but this follows all PS3 standards for Python. So cool stuff. You wrote code that is actually readable and actually is on standard. Makes it my job a lot easier to read and explain it to other people later. So thank you, Bill, for that. All right. So that's vulnerability of the week. And I don't know why there's so much phlegm in the week.
Hey, were you able to find any information out about Bill, like where he is or anything?
I didn't want to really freak him out, but I did find his Twitter.
Okay.
So if you want to hit him up on Twitter, just go to mine and see who I follow, and you'll find it's the same picture here. I'm pretty sure his handle is the same here. But this is a senior in high school.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no stalking.
So
That's a pretty bad offense.
This kid is 17, so no one.
Well, he was 17 when he found the.
He's still 17.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say he could be
17.
18 now.
He's 17. 17, guys. He's 17. All right.
Nice.
Moving away from that awkward conversation. ORPAC what section are we moved into now? Vulnerable stuffs.
Yeah, this is like generalized vulnerable stuff. So I have the CISO weekly vulnerability breakdown from US CERT, but ORPAC gas stations, they had hard-coded passwords. Let's see actually where celebration of password day, blah, blah, blah. Could be
hundreds of ORPAC gas station systems can be easily hacked thanks to hard-coded passwords. Do they know what that hard-coded password is? I'll give you one guess that it's 0000.
Or 1111.
Yeah.
Or I like pumps.
It would actually be a long password to type into the keypad. It's going to be it'll be a keypad thing. It'll be 0000.
Probably. But yeah, they actually do have a hard-coded one. So if you are interested in looking into that a little bit more, check it out. This one is a biggie. They're saying 9 out of 10 production SAP systems. Initially they guesstimated 50,000. Actually they said 50,000 enterprise firms run SAP. Okay, yeah, I could see that. But yes, updated 9 out of 10 SAP production systems are believed to be vulnerable to new exploits. And, there's a tool set out there called 10K Blaze. And it can be used to create new users with arbitrary privileges, perform business functions, such as create new vendors or purchase orders.
You can commit wire fraud with it.
Essentially unauthenticated. And be able to gain access to SAP databases or disrupt business ops. So this is major. Like, this is if you
for the uninitiated, what is an SAP system?
SAP is a company, so SAP is over Oracle and, but yeah, we can go through some of them. So the SAP S4 HANA, Enterprise Resource Planning, Product PLM, CRM, HCM, SCM, SRM, BW, which is NetWeaver, Business Warehouse, BIPI, Soulman, their GRC, so Governance, Risk and Compliance.
Oh, man.
And their ABAP application server. So, I mean, this is like 90% of the crap they have in their portfolio. And they are all currently susceptible to, this.
Right. So to continue on with that, the exploits do not rely on core vulnerabilities in SAP code. Rather, errors in SAP NetWeaver installation, administrative configuration, and settings can be used to compromise applications. So it's actually looking at how you're actually configuring these things. So it's probably a default configuration within SAP NetWeaver between the rest of these things. So I'm assuming NetWeaver is a kind of bridge between all these different things.
Yeah, I think they acquired NetWeaver. Gosh, it's probably been 15 years ago, somewhere in there. And they're probably running on some of the original code and integrated it into a lot of their like foundational structure of other items that they went up and created. But yeah, This one is a massive one for the enterprise.
Update at 11:05 BST. An SAP spokesperson told ZDNet, SAP is aware of recent reports about vulnerabilities in SAP Gateway and Message Server. However, these have been patched by SAP a few years ago.
Yeah, have fun with
Security
that.
notes there, released in 2009 and 2013, will protect the customer from these exploits. As always, we strongly advise our customers to apply these security notes immediately and ensure secure configuration of their SAP landscape. So patch your shit, please.
Yeah, but two, I don't think Gateway and Message Server were even included in the list up here.
They could be in the NetWeaver suite though. That's my thing.
Potentially.
Potentially, but could be that. I don't know. I agree with your doggo.
I know. We have appearances downstairs near me, so the dogs decided to freak out. I'm sure Mom said some magic words that made them freak out, though.
I cannot. Tree. Walk. Wanna go outside?
You said your parents or Jada's parents are visiting?
No, I said Mom.
Appearances. Oh.
Yeah, Mom, which is our son's mom and the dog's mom, so Jada.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, last up on the vulnerable stuff. I threw it up here a couple weeks ago, and like I said, we're going to try to start throwing this up here on a weekly basis. It comes out on a weekly basis, so we're usually pretty close to when it is released. Some of the items to note on, and anybody watching, lower left side under Adrian's icon on YouTube, show notes. It's a Google
Doc.
Yeah, docs.google.com. You can see what we're talking about, like as we're going through it. And this one is under number 3, item C, CISA Weekly Vuln Breakdown. But some items to note that are biggies, and it's currently not calculated or not given a score, but Cisco Nexus, quite a few issues there. And
Situation management key is this one here at Cisco Nexus 93108TX EX firmware.
That could be part of it, but do a search and go all the way down towards the bottom. Like that one's actually been given a score. The ones down below.
I think I just bookmarked this page.
Oh, good.
Oh God, Cisco is a lot. Holy, there are 141 instances of Cisco here.
Yeah, search Nexus 9000 or Nexus _9000 or Nexus space 9. Either of those will work. So file system management.
Yep. Got it.
Mode switch could allow an authenticated local attacker with administrative rights gain elevated privileges as root. There's an issue with fabric switch. Could allow authenticated remote access to sensitive information. Allow unauthenticated to overwrite system files. I thought there was one here that was unauthenticated.
I've been seeing a lot of these going through.
Oh, here we go. Could allow an unauthenticated remote attacker to perform an insecure TLS client authentication on a affected device.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, if it's unauthenticated insecure TLS, wouldn't that could allow an unauthenticated remote attacker to perform insecure TLS client authentication on an affected device. The vulnerability is due to insufficient TLS client certificate validations for certificates sent between the various components of the ACI fabric.
Yeah, which means you could do a man in the middle on it.
Yep. So, yep. I just discussed how man in the middles work earlier. So that same concept, but instead of hitting a Dell thing, you're just saying like, hey, I am this person. I am your server. I am your Cisco Nexus 9000 server. It's like, okay. And then your server, it's like, and to the actual server, you're like, I'm a client here. I mean, here's my stuff.
That's right. But yeah, there's a couple unauthenticated items in there which means you can do man in the middles on them. You know,
There's
so
a lot
you,
of stuff.
you drop black box into a network and you could pipe into the traffic. And I'm trying to find what
Are Cisco Nexus 9000s new or old? I'm just in.
probably about 2 years old.
Okay.
There's some of the primary ones within data centers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah. Rapid 7, Polaris.
Rapid.
Trying to
So Raspberry Pi to I own your data center? Question mark.
Yeah, give me
Well, that's
one
if you
minute.
can get.
Let me see.
That's if you can get into a data center, though, because those things are locked down, but they're remote attacks.
It all depends on the organization and segmentation
Yep.
and how they have their network oriented.
All it takes is one post-it note saying data center login.
I mean, I've been in environments where it was a flat network and there was next to no segmentation, and you know, you could ping out the core routers, you know, like within the data center. So
Interesting.
there was another one on here, but I missed it. Maybe that's it. Let me see.
Oh, guys, I got disconnected for a second.
Yeah, it's all good. I figured you got disconnected for some reason.
Okay, so yeah, here was another big one, or somewhat. I mean, it's not high on the CV side. There is one that's 6.8, but Jenkins, GitHub authentication. So
Oh yeah, I
Jenkins,
saw this.
yeah, GitHub authentication plugin 0.31 and earlier did not use a state parameter of OAuth to prevent CSRF. So yeah, that is.
So I saw this. So with this one, you could actually do a cross-site request forgery to then get the password of another user, and then just pull their code. So all private.
That's always helpful.
Yeah, and we all know that we all want to see private repositories.
Heck yeah. I mean, I do.
Especially some of the ones that like say. Well, here's also the bigger issue with that. If you're say you're someone that's working on Rapid 7 and you have push rights to the master build or any sort of any sort of deployment keys or anything like that deploys out to package servers or anything like that, you could then put in your malicious code then by doing that, like coupling this vulnerability and then exploiting on it, getting that user's credentials, inputting in your own code into any application that you could then push out to all the users, that especially if you have like an auto update feature or anything like that.
Yeah.
That would be very bad.
Oh yeah. I mean, because that's how no PETA, you know, that's how it started. And update, we've had quite a few update servers get compromised in the last 3 to 4 years and push out malicious updates. Actually, I just read today, I don't have it on the notes, but quite a few GitHub repositories were compromised, and I think it was like in the dozens of GitHub repositories were compromised, where the attackers took all the data out and essentially left like demand letters or demand information to get their data back. But even in that sense, you know,
I'd honestly like to see that, but see how they did that, because with Git inherently you have a master version. You basically have all versions of that piece of software. So I'm wondering how they would do that, because all you're really doing is you're just taking, unless they deleted. Yeah, even then, if you deleted all of your hashes inside that Git repository and then push that out to origin, someone else is going to have that same copy before that will have all of those version hashes there. So and this is what Git is really cool about, is you can then cherry pick is what it's called.
Oh, I lied. It was GitLab.
GitLab. Oh,
Yeah.
Same concept.
Same concept, just
same
brand.
concept, but
and I'm posting it over in the side chat so you can see that.
yeah, let me pull that up actually, and I'll bring it up onto my screen. Yeah, so they literally are saying what I was about to say here. So mitigation is if you have a full current copy of the repository on your computer, you can force push the current head. So that is the most recent version of the code base in Git of your local copy using git push origin head to master and force it.
Yep.
So that is essentially doing it's easier if I draw it. It's essentially doing like if you have think of Git as a tree or like a line with like dots in it. Each dot is a version of your code. So that one version that an attacker takes over, that's at the top. Now you have the next one. You have the next dot or the next version of your code down. You're essentially telling Git to no, I want this dot to be the head or the top of the repository.
You're telling it to get this one.
Yeah.
Get
this. Yeah. That's what. So Git is an awesome tool, and it is very, very robust-ish if the people that using it understand how it works.
Yeah, just make sure you don't have like regular users trying to use Git. That's just and doing the key exchange and
don't use a GUI.
Such a pain in the ass.
Don't use a GUI. Those commands are freaking dangerous.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yep. What else? Oh, one place that would be really cool because I do know people who run automated processes pulling from Git.
Yeah, deployment keys.
And they have automated process pulling down. If you were to get into one of these repos, update the current without the, primary owner realizing it, knowing it, at that point, yeah, you whenever the scripts run to automatically pull down, they'd have no clue until it was reported like, yeah, I just got completely popped and it's your fault.
Right, exactly. So it's a big deal, but it's a one-liner fix, and this is something that if you and you should have local copies of this because you should not be working on this in any
like straight out. Yeah, you should definitely have your local copies.
Yeah, Git. You should have a local copy of it, of the Git repository.
I agree. Yeah, do that. Get it. Got it.
Or you'll have backups of all that stuff too. So otherwise, you can still clone the repository and make use of git reflog or git fsck to find the last commit and change the command. That is actually git what you think it is. And it's when you screw up your commit and you break your code and you go, ah!
Yeah, Cappy does that every day.
Nope, I'm not a developer anymore.
And all developers worldwide are cheering.
Yeah, because now I just break your guys' code.
See? That's what I'm talking about.
Stand in fear of my wrath.
That's right.
I will find the hash where you committed your default password. That's my favorite act. There's a Google Dork that I found that I came up with that actually will find some it'll find Git in GitLab and GitHub. It'll find the hash commit of your database passwords in some framework that I will leave unmentioned.
Nice.
So anytime that you write password in your code, yeah, that gets indexed, especially if it's a public repository. So
yep,
you're welcome.
Okay, you want to move on? Did you throw the think tank in there?
Yeah, I did. So what the heck just happened to the thing?
What?
I don't know. What are you talking about? It says think tank,
Yeah,
unhackable Morpheus processor, ...
Everyone saw that, dude. I am sharing my screen. All right.
Wait,
so
wait, what did it say? I didn't see what it said.
he just moved the thing. So think tank, unhackable Morpheus processor ... Yeah, right. So
Wait. Did John McAfee build a Morpheus processor?
no. So apparently, what this is, a coworker of mine showed me this because he was just scrolling through Reddit and he found this. And apparently, what this is, in a short summary, is a self-obfuscating processor. So it's called Morpheus. The chip blocks potential attacks by encrypting and randomly reshuffling key bits of its own code and data 20 times per second. So that's 50 milliseconds. Every 50 milliseconds, it will change its code.
I have better frame rates on. Well, I don't play video games, but if I did, I'd have better frame rates than that.
Well, that's latency that you're talking about. Frame rate is based off of refresh rate of hertz and all this other stuff.
Yeah, but I'd still get it like 50 or whatever per second.
Yeah, anyway, latency is network. Infinitely faster than a human hacker can work, and thousands of times faster than even the fastest electronic hacking techniques. I call BS. But whatever. So today, to quote this guy named Todd Austin, a U of M professor, University of Michigan professor of computer science and engineering, and a developer of the system.
Oh, that stayed up north. Oh,
yep.
One of those.
Today's approach of eliminating security bugs one by one is a losing game. People are constantly writing code, and as long as there is new code, there will be new bugs and security vulnerabilities. Yes. True statement. With Morpheus, even if a hacker finds a bug, the information needed to exploit it vanishes 50 milliseconds later. It's perhaps the closest thing to a future-proof secure system. And I'm quoting him there. Austin and his colleagues have demonstrated a DARPA-funded prototype processor that successfully defended against every known variant of control flow attack, one of hackers' most dangerous and widely used techniques. So control flow, I'm pretty sure they're referring to DOS.
This feels like someone like a programmer at the company needs to take the marketer or a PR person away from the computer to stop writing emails to these news outlets.
No, that's a direct quote from the guy that made it. So
okay, someone needs to get him away from a computer.
Someone
needs to introduce him to John McAfee so we can at least laugh louder.
Yeah, put him back down in the basement where people cannot actively talk to him.
So here's the main thing, and this is where all of the stuff that I wrote down in the show notes, because I went on a rant when I saw this. I'm like, no. Yet Morpheus is transparent to software developers and its end users. This is because it focuses on randomizing bits of data known as undefined semantics, or I thought it said schematics, whatever, semantics. Undefined semantics are nooks and crannies of computing architecture. For example, the location, format, content of program code is an undefined semantic. So they're part of the processor's most basic machinery. The legitimate programmers don't generally interact with them, but hackers can reverse engineer them to uncover vulnerabilities and launch an attack. However, my first thing is going to be you're running attacks against this system. Cool. What is stopping me from finding a vulnerability and just grabbing the source code and then just running it again? Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's a little more complicated than that. My thing is, okay, 50 milliseconds, the code will change. That's going to be based off an algorithmic structure of bits being changed. And with those bits being changed, there's going to be a pattern that can probably be formed. Now, to code for that, yeah, it's going to be super difficult. You're probably going to have to work with I hate to say it, machine learning to actually try and find a success case where it actually guesses where code is.
Well, I mean, like, I'm coming from a different perspective.
Your pants fall from the sky.
Yes, I have chickens falling from the sky in here right now. Everybody here has installed software.
Yep.
Everybody here has done systems something at some point. From even a antivirus, we're saying antivirus is higher level, not as low level, like deep as this. Even from an antivirus level, how many times have we had 100% success when deploying just basic antivirus, just about any of them, and having all of our applications run correctly?
Never.
Never. And can you imagine the complexity with this in getting any type of today's existing software to ever run alongside this or atop this? I mean, stuff going to temp folders, writing, this and that. I do not see any software. I mean, yeah, I get it. Yeah, it may be able to stop malware and attackers, but nothing else will be able to run atop it.
No existing architecture or software that we have right now.
No.
Yeah. So you're still gonna have to. It's gonna be a game of catch up. My favorite thing
as well as price tag.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
If I'm gonna have this type of tech in a laptop, I'm not gonna pay $20,000, and no enterprise is gonna pay $20,000 for a laptop, even if it can do this.
Right. And the original Reddit post actually has some pretty decent thoughts on this as well. Still, it's going to take like a post-it note, and someone will get into this. Granted, it's not saying that it'll stop all attacks. It's saying that it'll stop one attack, where it's control flow attacks.
Whoop-de-doo. Now I just fished the client. Now I'm on the system anyway.
Yeah. And what I think is the flip side of this is this might actually make it harder for for defenders to pick the stuff up. If you get onto a system via a fish that gets through any of your email filtering, or like I drop a bad USB that then runs code on that processor, that code is continuously being obfuscated for me now.
Yeah.
From what my understanding of this from how this processor works. And I think it might be a troll. The demonstration chip is a RISC-V processor.
I mean,
I legitimately watched hackers right before I read this article, and I'm like, RISC is the future.
Did you happen to look up this professor, whoever this guy is at U of M? No. Just to validate they are who they say. I mean, I don't feel like it's a troll. If they are mentioning DARPA, like that's going to raise sensors to investigate things if it's BS.
Yeah,
and it's actually on U of M's website. So
yeah, this is on University of Michigan's site.
I mean that State Up North's website.
Yeah,
we go Bucks.
Yeah, we don't talk around the Ohioans.
That's right.
Yeah, but only slows down performance about 1%. So there is a performance drop. So it's like, okay, cool. And this is supposed to be a mitigating factor in stuff like Spectre Meltdown and stuff like that, control flow, where it changes all the time. You're not going to get the same structure, but at the same time, it already does that in memory. So I'm thinking it's going to be more, if you find a system that's running one of these processors, if they ever get implemented, which I doubt, it's going to be, you're going to have to just fish, or there's going to be some source code. Some source code is going to get disclosed.
Yeah, the only thing that I could see actually running this in the next 15 to 20 years is going to be, maybe like a crown jewel system. you have your file server, your SQL server. I mean, maybe server side, and then high end, high dollar server side. There are still going to be so many other ways to do things.
Right.
I mean, nobody's ever going to use this for a DC.
You're gonna still be running Windows 2003 with an open FTP. What am I gonna go for? Oh, I'm gonna go for the weird risk architecture thing because I'm elite. No, I'm going for the low hanging fruit, dude.
Yeah, exactly. Your environment has not been upgraded to even 2008 R2 or above. I mean, and
Even then,
you
dude.
still have 03 in the environment because you have legacy crap you have to support with
MS
old school.
1707, bro.
Yeah, and you have old school crap, and yeah, you still have a DC that's an 03. Like,
Yep.
and
Eternal
even
blue
past that,
everything.
yeah, even past that, you don't have this on user systems. Oh, holy crap! I found out that you allow your service desk to have DA access, and your service desk now does support on end user systems, and now I can dump creds on user systems and be able to go straight out.
I think I was looking. So right before we got onto the cast, I was looking at an internal that we are conducting right now at work, and just I'm shadowing one of our guys right now, and just some of the commands that he was running, and then I start seeing hashes start coming through that he's echoing back into files, and I'm like, wait, let me look at the timestamp real quick. This was like 10 minutes. I'm like, God dang it, dude.
Yeah.
It's like, just come on, man.
Yeah, and anybody red team, like if you have the opportunity, and like part of your engagement is you are within the environment, use responder. Like, use the crap out of that. Listen for all the crap going over the wire because there is a shit ton of it.
Yeah, and then my other thing too with this is it has to make a call to the software every 20 times in a second. Don't you think that you might pick that up at some point if you're on the system? Or if you're in there already?
Yeah. I mean, I can imagine just because you know the framework, you know how it works, building resiliency against it. Like, I don't see how that would not happen.
I don't know. And there is a technical paper out there that has all this. It costs $20. Freaking edgy.
Oh my gosh.
You hacks.
You know, that free sharing of knowledge. Oh, and so free anymore, apparently.
Yeah, free sharing my ass. Probably because they knew
how much money you think they got from DARPA? I mean, I guarantee this was a paid study. And now they're like, okay, well, if you actually want to know the real nitty gritty part, then you have to pay another. I mean, yeah, $20 isn't a lot, but still, come on. Like, this is InfoSec. White hat, black hat, gray hat. Like, we share information.
Yeah, someone's going to leak it anyway, so.
Yeah.
I do not condone the leaking of it, but.
Enjoy that one $20 payment you get. Enjoy that. I hope you do.
Yeah.
And don't choke on it. That one $20 payment before it gets shared to the world.
Because someone's just going to PDF that, dude. It's a PDF. They literally have it online. I bet I could probably public directory find that right now.
Probably.
But I won't because I am live, and I would never, ever do something like that.
Okay.
And neither should any of you. And sarcasm tag.
That's right.
All right. So that was my think tank, unless any of you guys have any more thoughts. People that are in here.
I don't. Who is job hunting?
Oh, that was something that Krantz sent me on Twitter.
Oh, okay.
And he wanted us to discuss it. I told him to get his ass on the cast.
Yeah, where's he been? He hadn't been on for...
I have no idea.
I missed last week, so I don't know if he was on last week.
I don't think he was on last week either. I need to speak to his keeper. I saw him actually this last weekend. Him and...
Take that leash off.
Him and the Conleys were down here last weekend in the Louisville area, so I went to visit. Cool. Did a little bit of walking and...
yeah, walking and talking.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Walking,
But,
talking,
yeah.
squawking.
So I don't know. Looking around for jobs and so forth. I guess for my issues, it's not so much finding a job; it's finding the one that you really, really want. But apparently, he's looking around for jobs and finding it difficult.
Yeah, it depends on what you know, what your experience is. You know, 'cause especially where they are, outside of where Matt works, there's not a lot around there. I mean, there's IU, and then where Matt works.
And there's
Um,
Crane, which is a big Navy base in the middle of Indiana, which
Yeah.
at face value sounds weird.
What I mean, it's awesome. Like my mom worked there in the '60s, I think it was. But they were the primary manufacturer for like artillery casings. So like everything that was not handgun or rifle size, you know, that goes on ships and goes on tanks and things like that. They mass
Big
produced
shells.
all of that. Yeah, big shit.
Yeah,
But like there's old school photos you can look up where if you did a flyover crane, it just looked like there were like 4 or 5 buildings there. Whereas once you like drove through it, you know, there's 30, 40 buildings, but they had it all camoed out. And from a flyover, you could not see hardly anything or know that Crane was a major manufacturer.
we used to have an ammo plant between Jerseyville, Indiana, and Charlestown, Indiana, but I think they slowly the whole land seemed to be abandoned for quite a while. I think they may have a little something there, but since then it's been replaced by a bunch of like industry stuff. I think somewhere out there is like an Amazon fulfillment center and other odds and ends.
Okay. Cool.
I don't have much
So,
to say on this. Does anybody else have anything to say on how much job hunting sucks?
I mean, job hunting does suck. But two, it depends on what your experience level is.
Right.
Do not go into it with a big head, whether you have a shit ton of experience or none, because you will probably be speaking with somebody who knows more than you. And so if you go in with a huge inflated ego, you're going to get shot down with that huge inflated ego. Go in, know your stuff. Whatever you do know, be honest about what you know, and you know, hope for the best.
Mhm.
And I mean, every job that I have interviewed for over the last 15 years, I've got. But in the same, like if you're selling a product, same type of thing. You don't oversell a product. You be truthful about the product, and you know, you gain clients, but then you also keep clients. So if you end up going into a job, overinflate yourself, and you have somebody interviewing you who doesn't know what they're talking about, but they accept all your BS answers, and then you're underqualified for the position. I mean, there are times where you can fake it through. It's not easy, definitely not easy, but there are times you can fake it through. But I'm more on the find a job that actually suits you, that you will like, not something that you're stressing out every day because you have no freaking clue what you're doing whenever you walk through the door. But that's my opinion.
Yeah,
And you won't find a job that will be totally stress free. Go ahead, Liz.
So you're saying don't have a big head, and all I hear you is discriminating against people with gigantism.
Yeah,
Hey,
I
he
pretty
really
much
does
do that all the
affect
time. I mean, I have some short friends and they have big heads. So what can I say? The Oompa Loompas, I actually store them out back in a crate. I let them out once a year to feed, and the rest of the time they're just, you know, making different pieces of pottery for me because I really like pottery.
And they're not going to get a job anywhere else. Because according to you, big heads, no job.
Exactly. I mean, nobody obviously likes chocolate, so I'm not going to let them out to make that crap.
Sadly, you're not in like a Denver or a Seattle or any. I'm kidding. Yeah, definitely. I agree with what Israel is saying. Another thing too is like if you've had jobs, when you do find a job that will suit your needs, work with the people there. And this is something that I've found to be helpful when I was looking for a job. I did a lot of networking before I started looking for a job back when I was in college. and a lot of the people that I met, are actually in higher level positions now from when I talked to them back when I was in college. And even just going out to conferences is a great way to get a network built up. A lot of the times they'll be looking for jobs there.
Yes.
Um,
And two, if you are like kind of entry level area,
Mhm.
look at colleges. I mean, granted, the work there will suck most
Yep.
likely.
Yep.
I mean, it will, but colleges will give you a good big picture view most of the time. You're not normally isolated to just, and solo to one thing. You will
Right.
get a big picture view. The pay, will
The pay's
not be the
generally
best.
pay
Yeah,
is generally shit, but
yeah,
benefits are usually good. Usually the healthcare is pretty good, and my time in college was actually more slack than other fields I've been in. So it depends on what position you get at the university.
yeah.
Right.
But if you are able, especially in his case, he is close to Bloomington. So there's IU and there's some other not major, but larger
I think
items there.
Ivy Tech campus out that way too.
Yeah, yeah. But college is a good way to kind of get that entry level position because too they're looking for people coming up through the college, so they're going to have some of those types of jobs available. And if you already have some experience, they'll look at you over even their like recent graduates.
Right, or even students that are currently there.
Yeah.
You'll be a lot of the time. This was the case at my university. We had, I think it was 2 or 3 guys that were running security, and I knew all of them because I taught them how to do
Nice.
their job. and I was a developer still at that point. Um, it colleges are a good spot to start. I mean, even if you're doing something where you're just doing, I mean, Charles, if he was still on, he would be going off on like just getting any sort of form of tech experience under your belt, even if
Yes.
it's something like system administration. I come from a development background, and specifically in web development and some video game development. Those concepts that you learn while you're on a job, while you're in school or whatever, those concepts then get applied very easily
Oh
to
yes.
um, to the pen testing field or to the defense field. A lot of the analysis, especially for like system and network engineers,
Yeah, and I
moving
definitely. Go ahead.
moving into the defensive realm, you're gonna, like, when you're managing tickets, or if you're working in a SOC, or security ops center, or if you're working in as the systems and security engineer, having that skill set to be able to work around networks, managed network switch, or a understand how the firewall rules work, understand good firewall rule practices. Because you have that experience, you know what not to do and what to do. And the same goes for development. I can't tell you how many times I've looked at a web page, and the first thing I do when I'm on a web app engagement is I look at the JavaScript files that are being called. If there's custom JavaScript in there, and if I see something that's making a call to the back end, okay, cool. Now I know this call is being made to the back end. Let's throw that in burp and see what kind of data I can get out of it. And that was how I actually disclosed within our own applications that we were definitely
Susceptible.
potentially putting out a lot of personal information on the publicly indexable files.
Yeah.
But oh gosh.
And two, if you are still young, like definitely try to get into the dev side some. Especially if you're doing blue team or red team, you will do scripts in the future. It will make scripting life 1,000 times easier. Actually having that dev base. If you're on the red side doing web app testing, regular app testing, it's going to make your life 1,000 times easier. My life has not been 1,000 times easier because I did not have that dev side. And I'm going to be spending, here in the next couple of years, probably like 6 months just dedicated to dev. Because I can read code, I can write code. It's ugly. It works, but it is ugly.
I think your
And-
code is beautiful on the inside.
Oh, that's how I really feel.
It all
Whenever I
gets
see it fully
compiled down to
execute,
assembly.
yeah. Well, once it finally executes and it runs correctly, that's how I feel about it. But any dev looking at my stuff will be like, dude, does this even run? Yeah, it does. And they're amazed every time. But actually having that dev background, and framework and, kind of base drastically helps.
Yeah, definitely. Any sort of experience that you, in terms of finding a job in InfoSec, at least.
Yeah.
And granted, I am probably the least qualified to say any of this because I've only
Because
been
you're 16.
yeah, sure, and I've only been working in InfoSec for about 6 months now. Oh yeah, I'm about to hit my 6-month
Woo!
anniversary here.
Uh-oh. You're going to have a review here soon, hopefully.
Yeah, I have weekly reviews at this point, but
Wow. And you should fix all that so it's not weekly.
no, they're good. Like it's so that we don't have to have like a huge review.
Gotcha.
I haven't lost a lot of money. Like
Yeah. I mean, it all depends on how we, justify and, say a lot is define it.
yeah.
Justify.
Just based on total revenue, it's a very minute amount.
Yeah. So you think that's just what they're telling you right now?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Somebody threw the Linux kernel. Who threw that on?
I put it in there because someone suggested inside on my Twitter.
Yep.
I need to start doing that more often, and specifically, I put the name in there.
HyperVista.
HyperVista.
Yeah.
So Windows 10 shipping embedded Linux kernel, and
Now,
is that what it's called, or is that what the guy was called? Right?
I just copied it.
yeah, that's the Twitter handle. It does have
Yeah.
another name, but I was under the impression, because like last year, I threw up Kali running, off Linux
So
within
yes.
Windows. I was under the impression Windows was already running a Linux kernel.
So here's the thing. Back in 2016,
I mean, it was buggy.
2016, and I have the full timeline for this in my head ish. Back in about 2016, Windows started putting in a sub kernel, or a Linux kernel subsystem
Yes.
that was shipping out with Windows 10.
Yeah, on Win 10.
So, and that was called Bash on Windows, and that was what the project was called. Eventually, it turned into you could run different flavors inside that Linux kernel so at the same time. So you could run Ubuntu, Linux Mint, OpenSUSE and Debian in there. Someone did write a script to run Kali off of it as well.
Yeah.
The Linux subsystem last time that I used it, and that was back in 2017 or early 2018 last year. It was very buggy. Now instead, it's being shipped with the whole thing embedded into Windows. So Windows is being built off of a Linux kernel.
Oh, that's
just
actually what they're.
Checked for a moment. What you're referring to as what you're referring to as Windows is in fact GNU/Windows, as I've recently taken to calling it. GNU plus Windows. Windows is not an operating. Okay. I was doing the whole copy paste that I couldn't resist. But yeah, beforehand it was a translation layer, but now it's the actual Linux kernel.
Speaking about this new edition, Microsoft Program Manager Jack Hammond said the Linux kernel will underpin the latest version of the Windows subsystem for Linux. The kernel itself will initially be based on version 4.19, the latest long-term stable release of Linux. The kernel will be rebased and at the designation of the new long-term stable releases to ensure that the Windows subsystem for Linux kernel always has the latest Linux goodness.
And they're
will
saying
be included as part of Windows.
Yeah, they're saying previously
the year of Linux on the desktop.
Yeah, they're saying previously incompatible apps to run smoothly. The kernel will allow previously incompatible apps to run smoothly, and the performance of Linux yeah, apps will be 20 times faster. Because yeah, like whenever I tried it, oh, holy crap, it was
Nmap
slow as
fucking
shit.
didn't work.
And,
Nmap didn't work.
and I don't think it could touch the video card,
No.
if I remember right.
Nope.
So,
Who needs Nmap?
Hi? What do you do again?
I was fucking with you.
Okay, unless you're using like Netcat to run the port scanning, which is super cool. I would do that too, but I'd much rather use Nmap because there's more capabilities that I can use with it.
I mean, I'd tell you what though, like if Windows actually does pull it off and fully get the Linux kernel running and like running good, because it was just crap before.
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to be that's huge for Windows, because not only do you have the Windows ecosystem, now you have the full Linux ecosystem. I mean, that's...
But like I said, so I posted.
But you're still running Windows.
So I posted this on Twitter actually, and I just said, so Netcat listen back to me and Empire Shell and mine.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a hacker's paradise. Like,
yeah,
you
don't have to learn
everything available. I mean, that's the part that I'm just trying to think through.
Screw WMI and PowerShell. I'm just going to open up Bash and just throw all
exactly
on you.
I mean, you don't have to throw all this crap that's Windows specific. Now you can just do everything via Linux 100% across the board. Plus, with support for Windows 7 going to be coming to an end, I think the end of January of next year. I mean, if you still want maintenance, on your system, you have to be up to Windows 10, which means in an enterprise environment, you will be upgrading your systems. This will be part of your systems.
Scans are going to be fun now.
Yeah.
So when Microsoft released a bit of a great promotional video for this new change for Linux and Windows. I posted a link.
Did it include all the new games that you can play due to Linux?
That would actually be awesome.
No. But I highly recommend you play it.
Where'd you post it?
Or in the Google Hangouts chat.
Oh, I don't have that up in my browser, bro.
What? I mean, just me thinking about it. Like, what?
Hang on.
From a Windows and include Linux perspective, like, what benefit do you think Microsoft is seeing here?
Because it's probably faster.
Well,
do you think
benefit
they're going to rewrite like Office to run off the Linux kernel? And take all these applications, because right now, or to be able to run OpenOffice, or I just don't.
LibreOffice and OpenOffice already have Windows versions.
All right, so
Windows versions, but to be able to have those run off the Linux.
Play the video. It's magical.
Yeah. Adrian, do you still have me selected for screen sharing? Adrian.
No, but if you start talking,
I don't now.
Okay. Well, can you put it back?
No. Oh, here you go.
All right. So here we go. Sorry, I don't have audio, but it sounds like this.
Oh no, the audio was part of the. Dang, you need the audio.
All right, Adrian, you do it.
What am I doing?
A beautiful little ballerina routine.
There, throw that up on your Mac, because you got speakers. I have headphones, so I can't do that. And share your screen.
All right, hold on a second.
See,
that's just
administrator.
Watch and listen to the video, and just picture yourself what you think, like the demographic the Microsoft marketing team was trying to target. You got to really wonder there.
Pause my music. Oh God.
I know how to run wild. Taking over the spotlight. I'm on a roll, ready for the show now. It's go time. Watch what I do. Watch what I do.
That's Vim.
Watch what I do. Watch what I do.
Okay.
Oh, wait. So,
Cancel.
are they saying that I'd be able to run everything, like even Linux side, straight out of command prompt?
That's what I would get at too.
Oh my goodness! Like a single place running everything, Windows, Linux. This is a new, beautiful Like Microsoft does it again. What can I say? From an attack perspective,
I'm opening up all the Docker containers from command prompt and then making your entire system become my botnet.
I mean, from a attack perspective, that is beautiful.
Let's
Singular
just say
interface.
I'm really glad I don't have a webcam right now.
Dude, that. Like, I didn't realize you'd actually be able to run like full-blown Linux stuff straight from command prompt too. Like,
yeah, it's just a new tab.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I mean, convenience-wise, it seems nice.
That's awesome in a bad way.
It's Microsoft getting involved, and I don't know. I'm still not comfortable with Microsoft involved in open source.
That's PowerShell. Yeah, they only showed command prompt and PowerShell.
But do you really see enterprise? And I assume to what? So Server 2019 will also have this functionality. Like, do you guys think that there will be enterprises that decide to run Linux application servers on a Windows system?
I can see it happening because
Linux is free though. You have to pay for Windows.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing though. They'll already have that system in place. They'll already have all the DCs. They'll already have all the domain admins set up. They already have everyone's workstation already set up within the domain. Throwing another Windows 2019 server now we can get rid of all of these Linux servers that don't work inside of our domain. Oh, we'll just add this to the domain and migrate all that.
Don't cost any money in our domain, but in the same sense, will the authentication, like software side, will that authentication work with Windows?
Dude. MS-17, bro. I'm just MS-17.
If that authentication does not, existing Linux system, if that authentication does not work within Windows, I don't see it working in this context either.
It could. I don't know.
I mean, they could rebuild it to work, but I mean, at least within our current context and everything else enterprise-wise, I don't see it working.
It could be a new context. It could be a new thing. It could be, I don't know. It could be a new vulnerability. Could not be. It could be just as used as much as the Linux subsystem was, which was not a lot. So I don't know. Like I wrote PowerShell. I've worked on PowerShell scripts to just whenever they run, it boots up the Linux kernel Linux subsystem that's in Windows.
I just see PowerShell and Bash just like having, like, what's their love baby going to be? Because I feel like something's going to be occurring where PowerShell, where PowerShell and Bash just have their own little sub baby.
Bash shell, which is an oxymoron because it's born again shell.
I mean, but
born.
Jack said at least not right away, but in the next decade maybe. And I think I probably agree with that. I don't see.
I'm on board with that.
A big move. I mean, I think it's for Microsoft probably a good thing. But I don't see a big move for organizations to do this anytime soon.
Organizations, I've hit on this earlier. They're still running 2003.
Well, yeah, but even smaller guys to intentionally do this, even a smaller org, I do not. I mean, this is still a localized system,
right?
we are not talking a cloud-based system unless you were to run this cloud side, and then at that point, why? But most organizations who are smaller are moving towards cloud side, options, and just going that route. Localized infrastructure is kind of dying, and we've seen this in the past when it was the processing powers on the end user system. Processing power moves to the server. End user systems get more cost affordable. We move back there. Now cloud is more affordable. We move it up there. It keeps moving, but right now I just don't see that as being a really good vector that organizations
Not
are going to
thrilled.
flock to.
Not thrilled that everything in the cloud, but nothing I say will change that.
I mean, but to cloud, what is a cloud?
Someone else's computer.
Exactly.
That's why I'm not thrilled.
Somebody else's data center. And so you have the access controls hopefully in place, as well as, and this is something I keep speaking to people on pretty much a daily basis on. If you are doing anything in the cloud, box, guys, name off like cloud services. Amazon,
Cloudflare, DigitalOcean,
Cloudflare, Jara, like DigitalOcean,
Jira.
or Jira. Yeah,
Jira is Atlassian's project management tool.
yeah, but still cloud.
It's on their server. Yeah, it's on their servers.
But any of these items, oh shit, what's the one like Box? Has Box in it, I think. Box, Dropbox. Yeah, Dropbox. Any of these that you are using, multi-factor the shit out of all of it. 100%. If you have Amazon systems on your firewall, block out Shodan. And we've talked about this multiple times. Shodan has kind of like a front end and a back end. They have their web scraper IP range. They have their back end IP range. You as a security person can still hit their back end IP range, do your searches, have your fun, do all that stuff all day long. And cloud side. But this is infrastructure or cloud side. And you can block, their scrapers from ever seeing anything that you have presented out to the WAN.
I think that's the same with Census.io as well.
Yeah.
Which is it's another tool that's similar to Shodan.
Yeah.
But it's more based around the network side of things. You can get the same. I actually have found better success with Census than I have with Shodan. Because a lot of times organizations will make their own network block or they'll buy a block from the ISP.
Yeah.
So it'll be like 10.2.0.4 or something like that /24. And you're like, that's a low block. And you'll look into it, and that's all of their external infrastructure that you can see from a open source standpoint, intelligence standpoint.
Well, that's
if you're seeing 10
address.
anything, that's
I know it's an example. It's an example. I know that's an internal address. Okay, think you have a class A like 1.1.1.7 or something like that, and that is within a certain IP range. You're going to hit Cloudflare's block of IPs that they own. Or if you get
4.4.4.4, 4.4.2.2, Google, hello to you.
Yeah. 156.39.47.17/24. You're going to find something else.
What was that? Oh, that sounds like your last client. Let me look that up.
No, I think that's closer to the University of Minnesota's DNS server.
Oh, nice.
Which apparently is a backup that my family has had for all of our DNS or all of our machines. I did not know that.
Speaking about that, I used to know people who did WAN facing DNS. What's your guys' thoughts?
Like, okay. Explain. Like, someone would do an externally facing, like they would make their DNS server externally facing.
Yep.
Bad idea.
I just want to go on record. I totally agree.
DNS hijacking right there. Look at DreamHost. DreamHost got attacked by Anonymous because of that.
Yeah,
But they
And
are a
they're-
hosting company, so
yeah,
they,
they're a
they kind of
hosting
need
company.
to.
And yeah, they have to have some of those. But I used to know organizations who would publicly face one or two of their DNS servers. So whenever individuals were off site, they would still tie into that, WAN facing DNS system.
Right.
And I've never seen one benefit to that. Like
Right.
if you're
It's man in
trying
the
to
middle
do
vector.
that, yeah, if you're trying to do that from a security perspective, proxy, VPN, like do other technologies that are 1,000 times better
Yep.
than a publicly facing DNS system.
Yeah, because one that's publicly facing that will be picked up by
Everyone.
yeah, that will be picked up by Shodan, Census, freaking Whois.
Yeah.
You can actually block some Whois queries now. I
Yeah.
think that's actually coming to a little bit of an end there, but that's where you pick up the OSINT tools.
Yep.
There's also like that's an attack vector. Like if I'm doing OSINT on your, if I get contracted out to pen test your company and you have one of those open, and I have full like red team engagement kind of thing. My first thing is to find an employee that works remotely that ties into your DNS server, and I am getting onto that same network, man in the middling myself and watching that DNS traffic go through, and then possibly doing the same kind of attack vector that we saw today with the vulnerability of the week, making you go to what you think is your normal like employee login at Office 365, and something mysteriously goes wrong, and now I am on your system and I have work credentials and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times Office 365 is rooted into your domain admin or your domain credentials.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. What's that called? ADFS.
Yep.
Yeah.
ASFA.
Yeah. ASFA. Yep. Totally agree. Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, Windows Terminal,
Yeah, I just
I don't see it. The only reason that I have Windows is to play video games at this point.
yeah, I have Windows so my wife can be on a system that is not my like work system. That's
Should
like,
try Linux Mint with.
I have that on another system which she did not like.
Oh. I don't know where the buttons are. Sorry, not to be detrimental. It's just it's usually a thing. Is what people are used to. Our principal security consultant is using a Mac right now, so because that's what he knows. It's all about what you know, man.
Oh, I mean, it's all about what you are willing to work off of. I mean, I've worked off of everything. For a long time, I had to run off of Windows because that's what they made me do. But then for a long time, once I got into an environment that I could do essentially anything I wanted, I ran off of Linux,
Right.
and whatever build Linux I wanted that week or that day. And then there's other environments I've been in where I've had to run off a Mac. So,
Cool.
Of all of them, Linux is obviously the
most versatile for work.
Oh yeah, by far.
Yeah. Try setting up SSH on a Mac. Oh God.
Yeah, I don't even want to.
You don't.
The majority of
trust
the time,
me.
you probably have to use some third party application, and
No, they have it in there, but it's all sorts of different places.
Really,
Yeah, that's bad.
that sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
But it's just a pain. It's just different.
That's right. And no. Okay, I'll hit these real quick on the other stuff. Who actually stole the NSA hacking tools? So, Schneider. What's his first name? Bruce?
Bruce
think?
Schneider.
Yeah.
Schneider.
Schneider. Yeah.
Schneider.
Schneier. So
Yeah, he actually lives like 20 minutes from my hometown.
stalker. But I just threw his up because it was one of the first articles I found. There's been multiple articles within the last couple of days on this. Actually, he just posted it today. So, but leaked NSA hacking tools are. It's been found. So Russia used them in 2016, and so everybody thought that Russia had them. Well, knew they had them back in 2016, but it's been found that as early as 2014, China
2013.
may have been. Oh, 2013.
Yep.
May have been utilizing them. So now the question is, so did Russia actually like hack the NSA to get those, or did China originally hack? Did Russia hack them, the NSA, at the same time, or did China get them and then Russia hacked China? So it's yeah. I mean, it's like the beautiful pew pew map, like all into one scenario.
It's like a turducken and attribution.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like it's beautiful. But yeah, there's evidence to show that 14 months before shadow brokers ever released, that China actually had access to the NSA hacking tools. Which, if you're new here, that includes SMB version 1 exploits, Eternal Blue, like that entire frenzy of stuff.
Basically, how WannaCry happened
Yes.
was based off of code that was leaked by the shadow brokers that was then repurposed into making WannaCry.
Yeah, WannaCry, No Data, Bad Rabbit, that whole little
ransomware.
that whole little gambit of tools. And
the year of the ransomware.
Yeah, MS7.
No, 17.
Not MS17.
Yeah, it was MS17.
MS1017, right?
No, MS1710.
MS1710. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Eternal Blue in Metasploit. So MS1710.
Yeah. Because MS17, that's a bad gang. Don't hang out with them. They do bad things and they chop people up. But yeah, MS1710, that's SMB version 1. Anybody can get in anything now. Every red team uses it. If you have SMB version 1 enabled within your environment and open, shut it down.
Cool, I'm DA.
I mean, and like, they will drop in your environment literally 10 minutes or less later. They will have DA. So,
like I said,
yeah. Oh, always fun.
Well, that's interesting that Schneier is putting this out because he's actually he's a crypto guy. So
yeah, but he tries to stay kind of current, and I like to throw him bone here and there.
Yeah,
Bruce passions himself as a technologist these days rather than just crypto.
Yeah, I miss.
He tries to go more full circle.
He was keynoting like right after I was at DerbyCon, and I didn't get tickets to the one conference that he was at, but I wanted to go see that, but I couldn't make it because I was also getting a job.
And at least from my experience, he is a super, super cool, nice guy. So
yeah,
especially over beer, or bourbon.
Yeah, he's also a really smart dude.
Yes, that is accurate.
All right, Wall Street has been seized. What?
Yeah, so this one, Wall Street market. For those of you who do not spend half your life on the dark web, this will sound very funky. But for those of you who do, you're probably crying right now. Wall Street market, which is a dark web, selling space similar to... not similar to, but I mean, drugs, just anything you can think of, dark website that would be sold is sold there.
Wow, they had a lot of agencies working on this.
Or at least was sold there. So law enforcement has taken them down, but it's really funny if you read through this actual story, because they essentially went to the sellers, like the admins of the board, went to the sellers demanding like payment in crypto, and I think it was like $250 or so, 280. Yeah, demanding payment, and whenever they didn't get payment, then they started to, well, they figured out a way to exfiltrate a shit ton of money, $14.2 million worth of cryptocurrency from users and vendors' accounts, and then they left the credentials up there for the feds to find. So, and whenever they said like we want the money. The way they said that was, we want the money or we are going to turn over your information to the authorities. I mean, if that is not like the worst backhanded thing you've ever heard, like the only thing worse than that is like somebody killing John Wick's dog. Like, like, good night. But I mean, yeah, it was an open forum for, drugs. I don't know about the pedophilia side, but most likely just given where it was. But steroids, anything you can think of, usually dark web side, it was there.
What's funny is I know that once if you go to the article, you see the splash screen of what open market looks like right now, or the Wall Street market looks like right now, or what Wall Street market looks like right now. And first one I see is like, oh, yep, that's the Netherlands seal. I know that one. So the second one and the fourth one, those are both the Dutch authorities opened our ministry.
Oh, okay.
And
yeah, because I think the servers were
in the Netherlands. Yeah,
I thought so. Yeah, yep.
So a while back, I started thinking about a lot of where darknet stuff is, and that's been a treasure trove for Dutch and U.S. authorities to work together on stuff, because a lot of the hosting providers were in that darknet and marketplaces were using. They were hosting them in the Netherlands because of some lax data protection laws and stuff like that. While I was over there, they passed a law.
Law?
They passed a law that made it so that if there was suspicious activity based off of an IP, they could search your house without search a certain area without a warrant.
Really?
Yes, and that passed. And I was like, that's a big deal for a privacy side.
And that was voted on by the citizens?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, I mean, because
shocked.
I know of a lot of other locations that were hosting things out of the Netherlands, especially dark website. Like, before some of these things, was the Netherlands more tolerant of, those types of activities?
So Europe, yeah, exactly.
Oh, hey, Jack.
Yeah, so Jack and I actually lived in the exact same area at two different points in time. Two different points in time.
2 different points in time.
2 different points in time. And when I was there, it was very apparent that there's a different culture towards downloading and pirating videos or just getting things that you want over the internet.
Yeah.
There wasn't a whole lot of, it's like, no one's really going to care about this. It's just me, right? Well, no, the GDPR and then that law that happened in the Netherlands, that kind of was like, okay, like they're starting to like crack down on some stuff. But
like what did the laws like hit outside of like the GDPR type of stuff?
It was something where if there was malicious activity going on or coming from, or it was malicious activity coming from that IP address. So they would trace that IP address with the ISPs. So authorities would have access to ISP data, and with ISPs you can get a general location of where that IP is located.
Yeah.
And that general location, I think, was down to at least like a square kilometer or something like that.
I'm American, thank you.
About a third of a square mile. A square third of a mile ish.
Well, I mean that's the information that the ISP is going to divulge. But
Yeah.
what the ISP has on the back end is all the way down to your house.
Yeah, I mean, ISP on the back end is going to have customer address.
Right. Exactly.
But whenever you said malicious activities, I'm assuming then they also took that past just malicious to also illegal activities.
GDPR. Yeah. So right after that GDPR passed, and I think there might have been an amendment to it made after it was passed.
I mean, because GDPR is on the privacy side. GDPR doesn't really touch on the malicious, or illegal act side.
Right.
That's why I'm asking you about that. The law that was passed.
Is different. That is different from the law that I'm talking about is different. I don't have the documentation in front of me.
I mean,
but I remember talking about that with a bunch of the guys at work because we were all like, because they knew me as the one hacker dude, and they were like, what do you think about this? I'm like, that's kind of screwed up, but for a privacy standpoint, like someone else could use your spot and basically or your IP, get onto your system and then leverage an attack from your IP, and then you end up going to jail. But forensics investigations would have to be conducted anyway. The police and the authorities over there are much different than over here, though. So
yeah, I know guys back in the day who would utilize open relays, even on phone systems, and be able to utilize that for data transmission, like generalized computer-based data transmission, VoIP systems, and yeah, there was a lot of fun to be had.
Oh yeah, I remember those teleconferences back in the day. You dial into a corporate 888 number, and it'd be like it'd be relayed to somewhere else, and
Yep. I mean, and a lot of the time there were not any, checks in between, and so you could be going over a VoIP system all the way to Japan or wherever, but as long as you knew how to do it correctly, tie your regular data feed over into that VoIP feed, and now instead of voice-based traffic, now you have regular, data traffic going over, and yeah, you're going off to Japan, and now you're pinging off of whatever relay they're talking through to. And the vast majority of people, 6-7 years ago, who were just implementing voice systems, did not do any type of firewall restrictions on the VoIP systems, didn't do nothing.
It's like freaking, but over the internet.
Yeah, it was. And I haven't heard of it that much recently. I mean, pretty much everybody's blocked it down. But yeah, back in the day, you could do quite a bit there.
Yep. All right. Well, that's fun.
Was that it?
Yep, I believe so. I'm going to look real quick.
I did throw this on here because it's one of the guys who works for my company. Alien Bolt Act. Yeah. So Ghost Rat is a let me see. I don't think it's I think it's generalized malware. I don't think it's ransomware. But yeah, it's generalized malware. But one of the guys in my company, one of the analysts, did a really, I mean, honestly, like, I was impressed. And I told him, that's a really, really good write-up. He did a pretty nice little write-up here about Ghost Rat. And
it's using the SMB. It's using Eternal Blue.
Yeah. I mean, but still, like, yeah, it's using SMB v1 to initiate and move through, but he decompiled. He went through what it does, all that fun stuff. Alien Vault went ahead and published the report. So just want to throw a little bit of credit where credit's due. He did an awesome job, and if you are interested in Ghost Rat, like, check it out. He has a really nice article that he made up.
Dude, yeah, he's giving like memory locations of what the function is, what it does.
Yeah, I mean, this is stuff that Walmart does some really nice reversing. Not F5. Who was the one you mentioned earlier in the episode? I mean, Cisco. What are their labs called? Shit. I can't even think of it.
I don't think I mentioned any.
No, not on the Cisco side. You said the one who will probably investigate that.
FireEye.
Yeah, FireEye. They do really nice write-ups. Cisco Talos will do some really nice research, and I put this right in that same type of line. I mean, he did a really good job.
It and put it back into C.
Yeah, I mean, he did an excellent job. So
wow.
Yeah, I just want to throw kudos out there. He did a freaking awesome job. So
yeah, dude, nice. And you reverse engineered it's a 5-byte string.
Yeah,
5-byte piece of code, and that translates to about I want to say like 30 lines of code, something like that, with formatting. And he's put it down to the full like string names and all this stuff, and like the hash and everything. Wow.
Yeah. He did a good job. So.
Oh wait, no, this is the rule. This is a firewall rule. My bad.
No. But yeah, in general, I'm saying he did a good job, and just want to throw it on here. You guys encounter Ghost Rat or are curious more about it, like check it out. He's got a very nice write-up here.
Shout out to James Quinn.
Yep.
Awesome
there
stuff.
There you go. Okay. Adrian.
I think that's about it.
Oh, yeah. And by the way, I've been having a really good week.
Good to hear. Well, I'm not going to get dinner before long, but I want to talk to you all about some stuff off air. So
yes.
I think we're going to stop it for now. Everybody check us out next Wednesday. And, oh, by the way, a while back, I put up a behind the scenes of B-Sides Charm, but I didn't get to talk to any of the organizers. One didn't want to talk, and no one was always running around, and one said he'd come back to me later on, but then he was gone by the time I had to leave with Liz. So, well, I guess I didn't have to leave, but eating Asian food with Liz sounded more fun than hanging around to Forgotten Sec was available. So
Cap?
Cap?
Yeah, you ate cat?
No, we didn't. No. I think we had sesame chicken and some pot stickers, maybe, and I don't remember what else. And oh, great, what was it?
Oh, so sesame cat.
Oh yeah. Try anything you want.
That's the best part. I'm married to an Asian lady, so I am totally free and clear allowed to say that.
I'm just waiting for Jada to run by with a frying pan and hit you with it.
Yeah, actually, what is Filipino food like exactly?
I will say that off air.
Okay.
Somebody's gonna be sleeping on the couch.